In the heart of the sprawling metropolis of New York City, a sinister shadow fell upon the towering skyscrapers, casting a foreboding darkness over the city that never slept. A malevolent presence had emerged from the depths of human nightmares, and its name was whispered in hushed, fearful tones: Turble. Turble was no mere monster. It was a grotesque fusion of nightmarish creatures that defied all reason and explanation. Its serpentine body, covered in scales as black as pitch, gleamed ominously in the dim city lights. Its eyes burned like molten coals, and its fangs, dripping with venom, were the stuff of pure malevolence. It had claws as sharp as daggers, capable of shredding steel and bone alike, and its wings, tainted by the mark of the abyss, allowed it to cast a chilling, looming shadow over the city. This abomination was more than a mere predator. It was a living embodiment of terror, with an insatiable appetite for human suffering and death. Each kill only served to make it more monstrous, feeding its unholy power. Abraham, a battle-hardened monster hunter with a past haunted by unspeakable tragedies, had heard the tales of Turble and its reign of terror. His love, Sarah, had been taken from him by this very creature, leaving a void in his heart that was filled with grief and vengeance. Swearing to put an end to the nightmare that had stolen his love, he embarked on a relentless pursuit of the monstrous abomination. Turble's carnage had left a gruesome trail of death throughout the city, and the streets ran red with the blood of its victims. As the city descended into despair, Abraham's quest led him to other hunters, forming a desperate alliance to combat the unfathomable evil. Together, they faced the monstrosity that was Turble. The final showdown was destined to take place in the abandoned labyrinthine tunnels of New York's subway system. The tension in the air was palpable as the dimly lit tunnels cast eerie shadows around them. With a heart full of vengeance and a silver sword gleaming in his grasp, Abraham stood his ground as Turble unfurled its wings, casting a chilling darkness upon him. The creature let out a blood-curdling roar, a cacophony that sent shivers down the spine of the bravest souls. Turble struck with ungodly speed, its fangs aimed at Abraham's throat. In a desperate dance of life and death, the hunter narrowly evaded the lethal bite, but his sword scraped against the creature's obsidian scales, producing sparks that sizzled in the darkness. Abraham knew he had to exploit Turble's vulnerabilities, and with adrenaline coursing through his veins, he lunged at the creature's burning eyes. The monster's agony was manifested in a deafening screech as it flapped its wings wildly in pain. But Turble's wrath was far from sated. Its tail, a monstrous whip, lashed out, sending Abraham crashing into the unforgiving subway wall. Gasping for breath, he tasted the sting of his wounds and the cold touch of impending death. He couldn't afford to falter now, not when he was so close to avenging Sarah. Summoning his last reserves of strength, Abraham launched himself at the blind beast once more. He drove his blade deep into Turble's side, eliciting a symphony of agony that echoed through the tunnels. The creature retaliated by smashing its massive claws against the subway walls, sending a cascade of debris upon Abraham, nearly burying him. As the chaotic battle raged, with each collision of steel and scale, Abraham's strength waned. In the midst of destruction and chaos, he managed to pierce the other burning eye of the beast, rendering Turble completely blind. In its disoriented fury, the monster thrashed wildly, its roar now a lament of despair. In its final moments of desperation, Turble unleashed a cataclysmic torrent of energy that shook the very foundations of the tunnels. Rocks tumbled from the ceiling, and the ground quaked beneath Abraham's feet. He knew that this was his last chance, a choice between victory and oblivion. With a primal roar that echoed with all the pain and loss he had suffered, Abraham summoned the last of his strength. He drove his silver sword through the monster's heart, extinguishing its malevolence forever. Turble's mournful cry filled the tunnels one last time before it crumpled to the ground, lifeless and defeated. As the echoes of the battle faded, a heavy silence settled over the subway tunnels, save for the rhythmic drip of venom from Turble's lifeless maw. Abraham, battered and bleeding, fell to his knees beside the fallen beast, his love's memory finally avenged. But the hunter's triumph was bittersweet, for his wounds were too deep, and his life was slipping away. As the subterranean chamber grew darker, Abraham whispered Sarah's name one last time before closing his eyes, embracing the peace of eternal rest. In the end, the darkness that had haunted New York City was vanquished, but at a terrible cost, and the memories of the epic battle remained etched in the depths of the city's soul, a testament to the relentless courage and sacrifice of one man.